Bracket number 2, another Inman piece. It's an opinion piece. So this is purely opinion. We'd love yours in the comments. The housing shortage, which we know is happening right now all around us, will last for years. And let's get into kind of what's led up to it and why this will last for years. So they're saying we need basically 2 million new homes a year. We're not on pace to do that. Beginning in 1959, the U.S. Census Bureau started to record housing starts. During the 48 years between 59 and 2006, builders completed 52 million, almost 53 million homes for an average of just over 1.1 million homes per year.
A year.
Okay. Now, over the last 14 years, builders started 9.9 million, just over 9.9 million homes for an average of 708,000 a year.
So we're already behind.
We're way behind.
We're almost 300,000 homes behind.
Yeah, well, almost 400, 394. Fewer starts per
we're
year
at
than the historical
okay.
average.
I'll go back to math.
That's okay. The annual shortfall totals over 5.5 million
during
homes.
Those years, from 2007 to 2020.
So in 2020, we were up from that average. We were at 990,000, almost a million, but still below the historical average of the 1.1 million. So we are in a shortfall of 2007 to today of 5.5 million. Now, Fannie Mae says we're at a shortfall right now of 3.8 to meet current buyer demand. Right now, we would need 3.8 million homes. This says in the last 13 years, we had a 5.5 million shortfall. So all of a sudden, and the 5.5 would probably put us more at a normal market, because remember, we're less than 2 months inventory right now,
right?
Which is absurd.
Crazy.
A normal market is 6 months inventory.
Right.
You know, we've seen months here in Connecticut where you get into 10, 12 months and beyond.
Years.
Which is not good.
No.
We're not in that situation anymore.
Not right now.
But you have this, huge millennial group buying homes. You have people buying homes for different reasons because of COVID.
Right.
And then, like here where we are in the Northeast, you have a lot of homes that just don't suit the needs of today, the way people live today, especially now COVID has accelerated that. But just, electrically, the way it's, set up with, just the way they're functioning.
Okay.
They're not the way I would want to.
Okay.
Some of these homes in New England.
Okay.
Live.
So
they should all be torn down. No. So my point is, even some of the resales.
Oh, you're talking about historic homes. Is that what you meant by power? Like electric? I mean,
I'm talking
what
about.
Are we still like lighting
in the Northeast, we have these
fires
homes
for
like that were
lights?
built in the 1700s, 1800s.
I live in one.
You're not allowed to tear them down, which is ludicrous. It's insane.
So you think that has something to do with the shortage?
What I'm saying is, not like Nicole, super fancy, Nicole White, super fancy realtor. I found that clip. I should give it to you, Bobby. I'm going to give you this clip, Bobby. From,
when I pulled up in my car.
I said, "Oh,
my
super
gosh.
fancy agent."
We weren't even working together yet.
That day, came up on my Snapchat of like, here's a reminder. It was like 2 days ago.
Yes, I had the white BMW. You actually had wanted me because it was a referring listing.
Yeah.
So you met me at the and I pulled up.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
We're gonna play that clip, Bobby. Fancy real estate agent still.
Yeah.
Nicole being super fancy, to get back to my point here.
I mean, 1875 is definitely not fancy.
She
My
lives,
basement's dirt.
you would never tear down that
I have a
house
sump
because
pump.
the location is super fancy.
Yes.
And it's by the Guilford Green. But there are historic homes that don't have tremendous location,
right,
that are undervalued for if you had a newer home on there, they'd be worth more. Right.
Okay. So
and then you just have older homes, right? They're just not good. They need a lot of work.
Well, but there's okay. How's that doing with supply and demand here?
Here's how.
Okay.
Some of them are just sitting there. They would be easily sold into the market if they were a better product, better quality, right?
So you think people aren't selling because they don't have the right product to sell? Is that what you're thinking is hurting with the supply?
Here's what I think. I don't think necessarily they aren't selling, but they can't get what they want, so they're just going to leave it as a rental. Or it's just kind of.
Yeah. Well, I guess the biggest problem there too is then the supply, right? If we're 5 million behind already, and then again, supplies are going skyrocketing. I mean, I can't even imagine how much of our shortfall with these new constructions will be for next year. I mean, it's so funny because moments before we even started this, I have a buyer that's been waiting for her builder to get the permit for 4 months. She closes on their house this week. So it's like, what's going to give?
And they get into this, like, also the population shift. Florida, Texas, Arizona, other states
Millennials
need more demand. So they need more house. And like you go to Florida, you just see them building houses everywhere,
right?
And they do. They need more of
Yep.
the 1 point, whatever million we need.
Yep.
5.5 million, but 1.1 or more million a year than maybe other states do. So that's kind of how we got here.
Right.
Now, the prediction, if you read through this Inman article, is that we're going to be here for years because we're coming nowhere close to 5.5, making up the 5.5 million
Right.
shortfall. And every year,
well,
that's
this year
another
may
1.1
even be
million
worse.
homes
I
we
mean,
need.
hey, we caught up last year, but again, with things that are, I mean, we've talked about this multiple times. I mean, builders are willing to give back people's money because they can't even get enough building supply. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the year. But again, they also are talking about millennials in here, that they're entering the market, which is obviously just adding more and more people to the buying. I mean, it goes into this article a little bit too about the immigration crisis and where are all those individuals going to live. So are you reading the article now as we sit here?
Well, I'm just going to point out one number, and really we should be getting to a building 1.5 million homes per year. That's where we should be getting to. We're nowhere close to that right now. That would gain another 100,000 homes, which would add to the shortfall. And so here's the math in this opinion piece here is if we need 5.5 million shortfall, so we add those 400,000, that equals 13.8 years. So that still means, that's 14 years we would catch up in this math. So we probably need, to their point, 2 million homes annually to achieve supply-demand balance in about 6 years. So moral of the story is low supply. Now, whether high demand stays there remains to be seen, but low supply right now is something we're going to be faced with for a long time. This opinion piece, which was written by...
his name's Ben.
Ben Caballero. Ben Caballero.
Oh, I thought maybe you were skipping his name because you couldn't pronounce it
No,
earlier.
he's the president of Texas-based HomeUSA.com.
I think it's a great article. It's certainly worth digging your teeth into.
It says he's America's #1 realtor for the past 4 years. What does that even mean? I've never heard of him. Maybe
Well,
he is, Ben. Maybe you are.
Well, once he gave the opinion piece, he probably was able to give his own biography. That's why. Yeah.
So Ben is apparently the #1 in
there
America.
He is. Congratulations, Ben.
I'm going to check that.
We should give an award for that. What is the award? He probably, I bet you he got something from HomeSnap too.
Well,
he was probably top 5% at HomeSnap.
Real Trends will verify whether he could be. I don't know. He could be #1.
We love you, Ben.
This is the last 5 years.
Again, it's a great article. It's certainly worth reading and sort of, digging your teeth into. Lots of things to think about. Again, in the article too, it talks about the bubble and it talks about where we were, in 2005 and 6, 7, 8. Obviously, they're saying that we're not in the same spot. So again, a really great article and something to dig your teeth
Ben Caballero
into.
breaks own record for the most annual home sales, selling 5,801
so
homes.
it's units. Are we talking about units?
Yeah, 5,801 homes. That was in
units.
This
Look
was
at him.
2018. America's #1 ranked agent of HomeUSA.com.
Hey, well, we're heading to Dallas
Worth.
in October. We'll have to go
right.
meet him, just like we did. Remember Greg? We should interview him.
I'm heading there tomorrow. Maybe I'll meet him.
Maybe. That's who we should do a confessional with.
All right, so it sounds like he does sell a lot of homes.
Yeah.
Ben,
We love you. We did.
yeah,
we disclosed
tremendous.
that.
All right.